Okay guys, so we've got some huge Roblox drama to talk about. This honestly might even be the biggest drama of the entire year. And well, it all has to do with this Roblox game studio here, GameFam. I know a few other creators have already made videos on this. I think Flamingo even made a video talking about this. And well, if you don't know GameFam, this is actually their website here, is a massive Roblox studio. In fact, if we scroll down on their website, we can see all the different games that they own, and there are a bunch. As you can see, the list just keeps going and going and going and going. In fact, in terms of overall developers and employees and games, I think they may actually be the largest game studio on Roblox. They might be looking at this and thinking, wow, that's a lot of games for one studio to own, and you're right, except there is actually an interesting little detail here. You see, some games they didn't actually create. They made games like Sonic Speed Simulator. This is a game that they developed on their own, but then games like right here, Funky Friday, they didn't actually create Funky Friday. They just bought Funky Friday from the original developers. I believe Starving Artist is another game that they bought from the original developers. Could be wrong on that one though. Row Beats is another one. They didn't actually create that game, they just bought it. And well, I mentioned that because it's extremely relevant to the first piece of drama here. And well, that drama actually has to do with this game here called Funky Friday. I'm sure you guys have heard of it. Because, well, as you might know, Funky Friday is actually a fan game version of Friday Night Funkin', a game that I'm sure needs no introduction. I mean, good lord. Anyway, the original developers for Friday Night Funkin' aren't very happy with Funky Friday. Check this out. Developer Ninja Muffin 99 of Friday Night Funkin' has expressed that he is consulting lawyers for the Roblox game Funky Friday. He is consulting lawyers over the unlawful use of copyrighted assets, allegedly, and going over his options. Here's a tweet here where he's talking about possibly suing Funky Friday. Someone asked, is this a joke? And he said, it's not. Here's some more tweets. In fact, an entire thread of them talking about Funky Friday. He actually responded to this thread on Roblox and said 2 years ago, it was just like people making quirky mods and fan art. Back then, these games were way smaller. People making fan games is all good and cool. In fact, I tried some of the other FNF Roblox clones and I had fun with them. Literally, FNF is one I played. But adding these weird scummy microtransactions, he's talking about Funky Friday because whenever GameFam took over and bought Funky Friday, they actually added in a bunch of pretty bad microtransactions into the game. And obviously, he's not very happy about that. He says it's very nasty. And along with this, he doesn't like the game being tied to other official stuff. Because, well, if you don't know, now that GameFam owns Funky Friday, they've actually done huge collaborations with giant brands and IPs like Sonic the Hedgehog. There is an official Sonic the Hedgehog event going on in Funky Friday right now. And well, the developers of Friday Night Funkin' just aren't really happy with all these microtransactions. They're not happy that they didn't ask for permission. And they're not happy that there's all these giant brands doing official collabs with a fan game instead of the actual game. They said that they're going to ask for their lawyers' insight on things. If they tell us to let it be, we will let it be. And if they tell us to sue, maybe we'll sue. Our lawyers were very smarter than us with things like this. But unfortunately, that's just the tip of the iceberg because GameFam's situation gets a lot worse. Because a few days after that, this user here, Digital Purgatory, made a tweet coming out with my experience on GameFam. And they made a bunch of tweets here talking about their experience. They even made this giant twit-longer essay post talking about how GameFam mistreats employees. He says stuff like, while I was employed under GameFam, it was a constant struggle due to the heavy crunching in the development team. We were mandated to update Sonic Speed Simulator every week, and this was a heavy toll on my mental and physical self, as I had to devote a lot of time to not just the development of the game, but also to take care of my dad. He also says that at the end of October, he was randomly terminated from the company, and that GameFam is a predatory company that underpays their employees, have basically zero communication with their employees, and is overall just not a good company to work at. And well, as you can see from the likes, quote tweets, and retweets, this post kind of took off. Well, if you go to Digital Purgatory's Twitter account, ever since he made his post, it also inspired a bunch of other GameFam employees to come out with their experience. There are literally like dozens of tweets here. This person said, I applied to GameFam as a software engineer with years of experience, and they had an offer that was 40 to 50% lower than I expected it to be. They underpay by a lot. I don't know how they have employees. GameFam laid me off, and I'm currently homeless living in a motel. This person says, while at GameFam, I was fired with no notice and encouraged to work for free for a week. HR is terrible. Some of the project managers are control freaks. When I was fired, they simply ghosted me instead of telling me anything. I had to ask around. Yeah, so not really a good look over the past few weeks for GameFam on Twitter. Anyway, GameFam came out with this statement. They said a statement about the recent events surrounding GameFam, and they released this mega post. Like, I'm not going to read this entire thing, but basically just know this is probably one of the worst responses to this situation that they could have possibly had. It sounds like a literal robot wrote this thing. Like, they don't even apologize. Like, just take a look at this. They actually start out the post by bragging. They say, on the Monday following one of our biggest weekends ever, where we broke records and achieved new heights of creativity, we wanted to take a moment to celebrate our company, our team, and our history of delivering amazing experiences for amazing communities within a healthy, happy studio. This line, by the way, amazing experiences for amazing amazing communities. If you go to their website, you can see that that line is literally just like a brand PR line. Like, check this out. Amazing experiences for amazing communities. There it is. They also say some really cringy stuff. Like, when we started GameFam almost 4 years ago, our intention was to combine veteran career game developers with the most incredible Gen Z native Roblox creators. We are a company by gamers for gamers. Wow, I wonder where I've heard that one before. And then at the end of the post, they say, here's some facts about working at GameFam. If you work at GameFam, you get unlimited time off. We have over 230 full-time team members. We have coaching available. You also get to celebrate company wins at quarterly all-hands global meetings. I guess those are meetings where they just like pat you on the back, like, hey, good job, you did it. But you'll also notice they say stuff like no mandated working hours. There have been no layoffs recently or ever. Easy access to company leadership with an open door policy. And well, if we go back and look and see what some of these employees are saying, this person was saying that they were fired and encouraged to work for free for a week. This person says they were laid off without a warning, not even given a 2-week notice. So like, which one is it here? Are the employees lying? Is the game studio lying? I mean, we probably know the answer. I don't want to assume the answer, but we probably know the answer. You know, honestly, stuff like this doesn't really surprise me. A lot of these big game studios on Roblox with hundreds of employees, hundreds of developers, they usually really only care about one thing, and that's the money. You'll notice that none of these existed whenever Roblox was a lot smaller. But now that Roblox is big and there's lots of money to be made, here comes all these companies buying up all these games, buying up all these developers, trying to make the most money they possibly can. Do they actually care about the platform? I mean, I don't want to speak for GameFam here. Maybe they do. Maybe they do care about the platform and the developers on it. It's just a lot of these game companies, they seem very corporate. Like, if you told me they were ran by robots, I'd probably believe you. But yeah, I just wanted to make this post to talk about it. It's a big situation that's going on. I also want to say, don't send GameFam or anybody associated with them any hate or anything like that. I don't hate GameFam. In fact, I love some of their games. I actually really think Sonic Speed Simulator is a pretty good game. A lot of the updates have been kind of meh, but I think it's an overall good game. What's going to happen now? Well, I guess we're just going to have to stay tuned to find out. So make sure to subscribe. Have a nice day. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!